why I'm playing 3DS in 2024, and why I think you should be playing 3DS in 2024 as well. It comes down to three different things. First is time, second is quality, and thirdly is nostalgia. And I'm going to explain each of those headings and let you know why I think you should pick up a 3DS or get your old one out of the cupboard and give it another go in 2024. So as I've said, first up is time. So I realized something recently, and it's really hit home with me when I started to play a few older games. For the last few years, I've been chasing a lot of new experiences. There's always something new coming out. The release schedule is always packed. It seems like every month trying to juggle PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PC gaming. There is just an endless amount of stuff. I found myself playing some games that maybe I just normally wouldn't play, probably just because they were in the zeitgeist at that time and they were the thing to be trying to play because it's what everyone was talking about, rather than thinking about the actual quality itself and if it's something I'm really interested in playing. And a couple of weeks ago, I started to pick up a few older titles and give them a try on some of my older systems or on backwards compatibility, and I was really enjoying it. Things that I'd maybe not gotten to, I'd put to the side, or things that I'd played previously and really loved and wanted to get back to, and it was always something that I'd been saying, one day I'll get to this, and I just decided, you know what, I'm going to cut out a lot of the modern releases and I'm going to go back and use my time really wisely and play something that I really want to play and enjoy. I've just gotten ground down by the modern gaming industry, just having something constantly to chase down, buy and play, and I just took it back to a simpler time when I was younger, when I was a kid, where you don't have that many games and you just fall in love with one or two things and you go and play them for the sheer love of it, not for trying to keep up with an industry, marketing campaigns, new releases. You're chasing a dead end at that point. This might not be for everyone, definitely for me. I had to go backwards in time and pick up some of those experiences I really wanted to play instead of just constantly chasing the modern thrills. The other thing that I learned from this experience as well was that time passes, but it doesn't necessarily make a game that had released in the past bad or outdated. And I know that this is somewhat obvious. A game's quality can stand the test of time. Going back through the 3DS's backlog, I just realised how many banger hit after hit games it had. It's got such a wonderful library of games, and if you've never delved into the 3DS, you're going to be extremely surprised with how many great games are on this system. Even though time has passed, the console's quality didn't diminish any. And that brings me on to that second point. It is the quality. The library that we have on offer here and the actual console experience itself from 3DS is amazing. It's really unique as well in terms of the actual console. You just can't get the experiences that you would have had on the DS or 3DS through a modern system or through emulation. You really have to experience this on the original hardware. And if you've watched anything on my channel, you'll know that I have an extensive 3DS backlog and a lot of the systems as well. My favourite one is playing on the new 3DS, not the XL model, but the slightly smaller one. I feel like the resolution really suits on the small screen. It's really customizable with the faceplates. I'll maybe make a video about all my faceplates on that in the future. And obviously it's got that slight bit more processing power than the original 3DS, so it just feels like it runs and handles everything a lot smoother. It's really nice in the hand. When I started playing again, I realized how much I was missing a dedicated handheld system. I know it's probably something in the past now, and the Switch is great because you can kind of mix it between home and handheld, but there's something about the small form factor of the 3DS that you can just slip it into your pocket, pull it out at a moment's notice, and have a little bite-sized gaming session. And I think as well, the software is combined really nice with the hardware, so that if you're busy, if you're on the move a lot, if you're just finding yourself not having enough time to game, going back to an older handheld is probably a really great idea for you, because the software titles are meant for those bite-sized experiences. You'll find that a lot of older games for handheld systems were actually built with a handheld audience in mind, so that you can maybe take it out and have a quick 10 or 15 minute blast at a game while you're on the bus, while you're on the train. It was designed with that in mind. And let's talk about about the quality of the software. Mario Kart 7 is something I've actually played recently, and I was blown away by how much I really enjoyed the experience of playing it. Whenever Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U and then was re-released on the Switch, it gave me an excuse to just kind of put away Mario Kart 7 and advance on from that, and I just thought I would never go back to that experience. But having turned it on, I've realised how much of an amazing game it is and how much it really brought the series forwards. Yeah, it's not visually as good as number 8, but the gameplay is still really there, and the 3D effect was actually really good on this one. I've also been dipping my foot into the remasters of Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. These are amazing remasters. They're the best way to play these titles for certain. They look absolutely fantastic, and I think it was Grezzo that done them. They done a remarkable job on these. And if you're looking for an excuse to dust off your 3DS, consider maybe going back to Luigi's Mansion 1. It's the most modern system that you can play the first Luigi's Mansion game on, and obviously we have number 3 on the Switch, and they're about to come out with an HD remaster of number 2, so it's a great excuse to dust off that 3DS and have a go at the first Luigi's Mansion as well. It's an amazing game, and it's really bite-sized as well. You can complete it easily over a weekend and have a really good time with it. Another quality game I want to touch on that I've been having a go at is Kid Icarus Uprising, and again this combines my first point with the quality of the hardware mixed with the quality of the game itself, and this is such a unique experience to the 3DS. The control system does take a bit of getting your head around and getting used to it. The 3D effect is great, and currently it is the only way to play this game. And if you're a fan of Sakurai's games or the Smash series, definitely do yourself a favour if you've never played Kid Icarus Uprising and give it a go. And that brings me on to my final point, which is the nostalgia that I have for this system. If you've never played 3DS, this might not be the same way you feel, because obviously you won't have the nostalgia for it, but listening to this bit of the video could convince you to play this excellent little handheld. Turning on my 3DS in 2024 and going back to some of those experiences that I loved and trying out some games that I've never got to play before, given me a real sense of nostalgia and a longing for that time period. Obviously it wasn't a super long time ago, but it's enough time that's passed that has meant there's been a big change in my life, and I'm sure a big change in anyone's life that's watching this. Time has passed, and it's interesting to look through that 3D screen and be transported not just into the game world, but into a strange little portal that takes me back to those times from when the 3DS launched right through its lifespan. It reminds me of those days whenever I would pull the 3DS out of my bag and see the glow of that green little street pass light, the joy of switching on the glassesless 3D for the first time ever and being completely blown away, trying out the AR cards and seeing the game world come to life on my own kitchen table. These are all things that will stay with me. This was a special little system. It had a cool interface. You could customize everything on this console, the way it looked, the way it felt. Having the eShop really just expanded this handheld. It was like a love letter to handhelds across time. You could jump back in and play games from older series. You could play the newer modern 3D games that were coming out, and having the console in my hand again, it just brought me back to all of those times. The joy, the thrill, the fun. As I said, the quality of the games is still there. If you're on the fence, definitely consider picking up a 3DS or pulling out your 3DS again and giving it a go in 2024. The quality of the games and the console itself are still there and still present. Let me know in the comments below what your favourite 3DS games are, or if you've picked one up in the last few years, and I'll see you guys in the next one.